speaking of the best, I think the best rivalry in the NBA right now, and friend of the program, friend of the station, Chris Biederman actually texted this morning and said, is Shams and Woj the best rivalry in the NBA right now?
Mm.
And I kind of at first was like, yeah, good one. And then I started thinking about it because I'm going, what is the best rivalry in the NBA? Like who has that mantle right now? From like a person to person standpoint.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's one better. At least there's not one to me that's more interesting than Shams v. Woj. You could say it's Rudy Gobert and Draymond because Draymond's out there talking all this trash on TNT doing that. But that's not compelling. That's Draymond being an ass. Like, that's not fun. This is fun. The Shams Woj back and forth.
Yeah.
Is a great. It's whether you're because there are people who are like media dorks who care about the like meta aspect of the media, not just what's being reported, but how it's being reported and the players, the players in the media that are involved, the news breakers, who's breaking the news first. But I think you don't have to be a media dork to be in on the Shams versus Woj like back and forth.
No, I think it's crazy to see these things play out like so publicly.
Yeah,
because like while they're not going at each other, they certainly are going at each other. Like you're seeing this like very, very strict rivalry. And like, look, it's sort of like it's the mentor and mentee. Like these guys work together at Yahoo, right?
Yeah.
I believe is Yahoo where they started together. And Woj brought Shams along, and then now Shams is his powerhouse, and they're both powerhouses. And so you have all these fighting, these infighting and stuff. And, it's really about who gets the information first. And I know a lot of teams, like they'll go back and forth, and one guy will call Shams, the other will call Woj at different times, and like that's the way it works. That's the way the media world works for whatever reason, and beating those guys is so incredibly difficult.
Oh, nigh impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you yesterday, like we were in the gym, we watched De'Aaron Fox roll his ankle, like right at the end of practice. We walk in the door, he rolls his ankle, he starts hopping off the court. We're like, is he okay? He's walking and he seems okay. And we're sitting there, like we asked the coaches about it. We asked everybody about it. We go back out into the waiting room. Shams breaks that De'Aaron Fox has a grade 3 ankle sprain. And it's like, all right. Like
that's so annoying.
It's like we're here. We watched the injury happen.
People who are here every day grinding to cover your team.
Yes. Yeah. And then that's how it's handled. And so sometimes you're like, you just throw your hands up, like, what are you supposed to do? But like, there are plenty of times that I've beat those guys to stories here in Sacramento, local stories. And that's always like a big victory for you.
Yeah.
And I always find it funny when like I tweet out, whatever, Mike Brown agrees to a new contract extension, Woj first. Yeah. I've yet to see one of those James Ham first from those guys.
No, of course not.
Back.
No, why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
That would be insane.
That would be completely outlandish and insane. Ridiculous. But you got to keep doing it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you missed it, the reason we're talking about this is because Shams on June 4th, that was Tuesday, tweeted out a story. The Los Angeles Lakers are zeroing in on JJ Redick as the front runner for franchise's next head coach, league and industry sources say. And typically when zeroing in on JJ, when Shams reports something like that, that is, oh, this thing is happening. And we had discussions. I saw Laker blogs writing posts and Laker podcasts doing podcasts. You and I talked about, man, the merits of JJ Redick as the head coach. Oh boy, all right, let's see how this goes. But Woj was silent. And Woj hadn't said anything. Not confirming it, not adding on, just nothing. Didn't have anything. And then this morning, Woj tweets, breaking, the Los Angeles Lakers are targeting Connecticut's Dan Hurley to become the franchise's next head coach and are preparing a massive long-term contract offer to bring the back-to-back national champion to the NBA, sources tell ESPN. And then went on TV and not only like doubled down, but just really like drove home the fact that Dan Hurley is the guy for the Lakers. Here, listen to this. This is Woj on First Take this morning.
The Lakers have been in pursuit of Dan Hurley since their job opened. This has been their number one candidate, and there are traction in these conversations. They have had contact. They're going to talk much more in the coming days, but the Lakers are preparing a massive long-term offer for Dan Hurley. They want him to be a program builder in LA, that they want a coach who can span not just this LeBron James, Anthony Davis era, but beyond it. And they consider him to be the best coach available in the market. Dan Hurley has never made any secret of his ambition to someday coach in the NBA. He is not afraid of challenges. The Lakers are the mountaintop in terms of scrutiny, stature, all the things that come with that job. Dan Hurley is listening, and he is listening closely right now. Back-to-back national championships. He has the opportunity to do something no one's done since John Wooden, and that's win 3 in a row. But he has now a point in time where he's got to make a really hard decision.
That's Adrian Wojnarowski this morning on ESPN's First Take, and you heard it right there at the top. He has been their guy since the job opened, and no mention of JJ Redick, no mention of Shams. That's because it's this weird little Cold War going on.
Yes.
Everybody knows that they are over there duking it out, but neither one of them wants to acknowledge it. Because I think there's like a respect there between them, but I also don't think they like each other.
Yeah,
especially because like there's competition. We have competition in this market, but not in the way that like Woj and Shams. There's one story to get. It's the Lakers, or just in this instance, there's one story to get. Who's going to get it first? And the ability to get that first is their earning potential. Like that is their value to their company. So this like beef, this little back and forth, I don't even want to call it a beef. This competition between these two guys is genuinely compelling.
I totally agree.
And when you're going to catch a dub, if you're going to catch a dub like Woj thinks he has here, then you're going to victory lap it every chance you get.
That's what it looks like he's doing.
So fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun too. And I'm surprised that the definitiveness that Shams put out, the JJ Redick stuff, because that was really like, but he also cites league and industry sources. And that's where it's like, okay, this is a little strange. Plus, like, I know that they have a couple of guys there that have such deep ties to the Lakers that know the Lakers inside and out.
At the Athletic?
At the Athletic. And the way they work is they have a hierarchy where everything gets fed up to Shams, right? So you can hear and he'll sometimes put out a Shams, and like with someone else.
According to me and Sam Amick.
Someone else, right? Well, their ties there are deep, and for them to not sort of be in the ballpark here is kind of interesting. So I want to see how this all plays out in the end.
It is very, very interesting.
Yes.
I don't want to, no, I'm not going to, I had a theory texted to me yesterday and I put it on Twitter. I just think it's fascinating that Shams posted that. Shams, who has deep clutch ties too.
Yep.
Posted that. And then you have Woj a couple of days later having something very, very different.
Yeah. Just blew it up.
I cannot wait to continue following this story. I don't give a rip who coaches the Lakers. I don't care.
Yep.
But from just a structural news breaking standpoint, this is going to be really interesting. We'll actually talk a little bit about Dan Hurley and the Lakers coming up in a bit. But we have NBA basketball tonight. It feels like it's been forever since we watched an NBA game. Shout out to Asia Wilson last night, by the way, of the Las Vegas Aces. She was sensational.
Yes.
First WNBA player ever with 30 points, at least 30 points, 10 boards, and 5 steals in a game. Whew. Like, she didn't win the MVP last year, and she probably should have, and she is making everybody aware of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's going to win it this year and win it by a lot.